Yo guys, Codelife here. So in today's video, I want to talk a bit more about the recent change that Epic Games have made to the turbo building in Fortnite. I already did a video yesterday covering this update, but since then, Fortnite have actually put out another blog post specifically explaining their reasonings for this turbo build change, which we'll now take a look at right now. So to start off, if you didn't see my video or hear about this change, Fortnite have now made turbo building 3 times slower than it was previously. Epic Games have changed the subsequent turbo build placements from 0.05 seconds to 0.15 seconds. This new change makes turbo building in Fortnite now feel super clunky and just makes Fortnite building in general feel really awful. A good reaction to this new change was Myth's reaction. Here's a clip of him attempting to do 90s after this new update.
Oh my god, dude!
As you guys just seen his amazing reaction there, you can tell he's not too happy with this new change at all. You could literally see as well the builds not placing due to this 3 times slower delay that's now in the game. Like some of the builds when you're just holding down your mouse won't even place, it's that bad. I do want to mention though that this change is only for turbo building, which is a setting that allows you to build by simply just holding down the left mouse button. You can still build normally without all of these issues as I just showed right there, but the only way to do this right now is to literally spam click the mouse, which no one wants to do. You essentially need to build without turbo building, which I don't think anyone watching this video wants to do. Like that's the reason why the setting was added to the game in the first place, because no one wants to just left click every time they want to place a build. Like it would just be the most tedious thing ever, and I'm pretty sure you could get like issues with your finger or something. But the sad part about this is Epic Games are literally forcing the players to pretty much do this now, especially the competitive players, if they don't want to experience these issues. I've heard of a lot of players actually now turn to the auto clickers / macros for the mouse buttons to sort of combat this delay, which by the way guys, I don't recommend at all. I actually think this is bannable, and to be honest, it's a waste of time as Fortnite are going to be patching this in the future anyway. I'll talk about this more near the end of the video as that's where they actually state this change, but for right now guys, it's just not worth it at all. Let's now move on and we'll take a look at Epic Games' reasoning for changing the turbo build in the first place. So Epic Games state 4 reasons for why they changed it. Number 1, rapid turbo building favors players with low ping in disproportionate ways. I completely agree with Epic on this one. You shouldn't be able to take someone's wall if you do have a lower ping advantage. This to me is just super unfair, and I'm so happy they are wanting to fix this. A good way Epic Games could actually fix this issue is via the suggestion that Speedy Gonzalez made on Twitter. He suggested that they should have just left the turbo build at 0.05 and make the first placement instant. This was on 0.05 before. This way people up to 49 ping could have a chance at taking a wall and not just the 0 ping players. That's suggestion I completely agree with. We've seen players actually move cities / states in order to get that better ping advantage, which I find pretty ridiculous, but I don't really blame them if they are getting that advantage, but it just shows how much of an advantage that is. Overall, this issue does need to be fixed, but the solution that Epic Games put out with this turbo build change I don't think will work out, and they should really start exploring other solutions like the one that Speedy made, for example. Next up is number 2, turtling disproportionately favors defender. I do and I don't agree with Epic Games on this one. I think if you're turtling and someone is spamming your box with an SMG or whatever gun, you should be able to use the materials that you farmed as a defense against that enemy that's trying to break through via spamming. Obviously Epic Games doesn't agree with me on that one, but they are right, it does definitely favor the defender. Next up we've got the final 2 reasons, number 3 and 4. These 2 issues are pretty much connected, so I just put them together. That's building placement accuracy and spam building. For these 2 I do somewhat agree with Epic. Firstly, the building placement accuracy can be off when you do spam build. Like you guys have probably experienced this for yourselves in game. Like sometimes there'll be 2 walls or 2 ramps placed somewhere where you're only meant to place 1 in the first place. I think this issue is more related to the grid system that Fortnite uses over what the players are doing. I personally don't think that changing the turbo build feature would fix that issue. I think it's more related to the grid system that needs to be fixed. The other issue is spam building. This is a problem and I do agree with Epic Games on this one. It is super easy to spam build in Fortnite. To be honest though, I don't really know how they can fix this, as no matter how people build, turbo build or not, they'll always spam build, even if they're just spamming the left click on their mouse. I think this will always be in the game and I don't think they can really get rid of it. But yeah guys, that's just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Epic Games' reasoning for changing the turbo build feature. Would love to hear what all you guys are thinking about this. Moving on though, we'll now take a look at what Epic Games don't want to dramatically impact by making this change. Epic Games don't want to change, number 1, 1, how responsive building feels, which they've done. Building right now feels really bad. Number 2, the ability to perform 90s, which again, they've definitely impacted this as well. Like literally no one can do 90s right now using turbo build. And number 3, the ability to waterfall. This, for those that don't know, is when you use building pieces as a sort of support when falling down. They've again ruined this as well. Now when you do it, you'll probably end up falling to your death. But yeah, those are all the things that Epic Games didn't want to impact the game with, and they actually have impacted the game heavily. All these reasons right here are literally why the community is going mad right now with Epic Games. Saying that though, I am really happy that they are stating that they don't want these things to impact the game. That does show that they've got some awareness. Hopefully they'll get all these fixed very soon, which actually brings us to our next and final part of the blog post, next steps. These are the changes that Epic Games are working on implementing in future updates. Number 1, replace initial building and turbo building delay with the rate of fire logic. This pretty much means that no matter how you modify your mouse, like I mentioned before, like say if you do a macro or set up an auto clicker, it'll detect that in game and cap your speed to 0.15. So there's pretty much no way of countering this, guys. That's why obviously I won't be doing the tutorial or even doing it myself. Number 2, enforce the rate of fire for contested pieces. This one is actually quite interesting. What they're actually planning on doing is adding a coin flip system for replacing walls. So say if you're in a box and there's a guy trying to take your wall, there'll be a system in place where there's a coin flip for who actually takes that wall, like replaces it. They do state that they are still exploring potential ways of picking the winner, so I'm not sure on the percentage of who will win yet, but in my opinion, it definitely should favour the one that owns the wall. A good percentage that I would like to suggest is maybe 60 or 70% in favour of the wall owner. I think that would actually work out really well. But yeah, we'll see how that system does work out in the end. I think it is good that Fortnite are actually taking a stand to try and fix that ping advantage. But for right now, the turbo build change just wasn't necessary. There's definitely other solutions out there that can fix it rather than doing that. But yeah, guys, that's a new blog post covered and some of my thoughts on it. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think of all of this. If you guys would like the new turbo building change to be reverted, then be sure to let me know by dropping a like on the video. I'd imagine not many of you guys watching right now are happy about this change in Fortnite in its current state right now, but it does seem that Epic Games are aware of this and are working on improving it, or they wouldn't have made this blog post in the first place. But yeah, guys, that's all I've got for today. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.